The vast galaxy was full of many strange and wonderful creatures. Different alien worlds had their own ways of life, their own leaders, and their own beliefs. Some believed in science and power. Others believed in old traditions and rituals. But none had seen anything like the human priest who arrived one calm morning. On the edges of the galaxy, his name was Marcus. He came on a ship that looked old but strong, covered with symbols no one had seen before. The ship moved silently through space and landed on the main planet of the Galactic Council. The place where leaders of many alien species met, the planet, was huge, with cities that floated in the sky and forests that glowed at night. The aliens watched the ship with curious eyes. Lyra, a young alien girl, stood among the crowd watching the landing. She was tall and slim, with soft green skin and bright purple eyes that shone like stars. Lyra was part of the council's guard, but more than that, she was curious. She wanted to know who this human priest was and what he wanted. When the doors of the ship opened, Marcus stepped out. He was a tall man with calm eyes and a peaceful smile. He wore simple clothes, a long robe that looked old-fashioned but clean. Around his neck hung a small symbol, a simple circle with a cross inside. The aliens had never seen anything like this before. The leader of the Galactic Council, a large blue alien with many arms named Varkos, stepped forward. His voice was deep and strong as he spoke. "Human, why do you come here? What is your purpose?" Marcus bowed slightly and spoke with a gentle voice. "I come in peace. I am a priest of Earth, a world far away. I carry a message of hope and faith. I want to share this with you," the council members whispered among themselves. Many aliens did not understand what a priest was, and the idea of faith was strange to some. Lyra's eyes searched Marcus's face. There was something calm and strong in him, something that made her want to listen. "Show us this message," said Varkos. "If you truly mean peace, then prove it." Marcus nodded. He raised his hands and began to speak words no one had heard before. His voice was soft but firm, like a song. As he spoke, the air around him seemed to change. The light in the room grew warmer, and the aliens felt a calm feeling inside. Some closed their eyes. Some looked at each other in surprise. Lyra's heart beat faster. She wanted to understand this feeling, but she also felt unsure. Was this some kind of trick? Or was Marcus really special? After he finished speaking, Marcus reached into a small bag and took out a glowing stone. The stone shone with a soft blue light. "This is a symbol of faith," he said. "It carries the hope of many people, their prayers and dreams. It is a power that can heal, unite, and bring peace." The aliens looked at the stone with interest, but many still doubted. The council members whispered, "What power can a stone have? This is nonsense." Lyra, however, wanted to see more. She stepped forward and asked, "Can you show us this power? Can it help our people?" Marcus smiled kindly. "I can. But first, I need to meet those who suffer, those who have lost hope. Will you help me?" Varkos looked at the other council members. Some nodded, some frowned. Finally, he said, "Very well, human priest. You may visit our city and meet those in need. But be warned, if you try to harm us, you will face the full power of the council." Marcus bowed again. "I seek only to help." Over the next days, Marcus walked through the alien city with Lyra by his side. He met many different beings, some with wings, some with scales, and others with many eyes. He listened to their stories of pain, loss, and fear. The city had been through many wars, and many people had given up hope. One day, they reached a small home where a child lay weak and sick. The child's skin was pale, and his breathing was shallow. The family looked tired and sad. Marcus knelt beside the child and placed his hands gently on his forehead. He closed his eyes and began to speak softly. The words were strange, but full of warmth. Slowly, a soft light glowed around his hands. The child's breathing grew stronger, and color returned to his cheeks. The family gasped in surprise. Lyra watched in disbelief. She had never seen anything like this. The healing was real. News of the healing spread quickly through the city. People came to Marcus, hoping for help and comfort. He did not refuse anyone. His calm presence brought peace to troubled hearts. The alien leaders could not ignore the growing respect and hope the people had for this human priest. One evening, as the sun set behind the floating mountains, Lyra sat with Marcus on a quiet hill overlooking the city. The stars were bright, and a gentle breeze moved the trees. "Marcus," she said, "I still do not understand how you do these things. Your faith, it is strange to us. But your power is real. Why do you help us?" Marcus looked at the stars and smiled softly, "Because every being deserves hope. Every soul deserves peace. My faith teaches me that love and belief can change even the darkest places. I believe in the strength inside all of us." Lyra nodded slowly. "You may be more than a simple priest. Maybe you are a sign of something new." Marcus looked at her kindly. Maybe humanity has something special the galaxy has forgotten. Lyra thought about this long into the night. She could not forget the healing, the calm, the hope Marcus brought. But she also knew that many aliens would not accept this change easily. The next day, a message came to the council. Some alien leaders were angry and afraid. They called Marcus a threat and a liar. They planned to stop him before his power grew too strong. Lyra's heart was heavy. She wanted to protect Marcus and learn more, but she also feared the coming conflict. Marcus, however, remained calm. He told Lyra, "Fear is natural, but we must face it with courage and hope. This is only the beginning." And so, the human priest became the center of attention in the galaxy. The alien girl who watched him could not believe her eyes. What was this power? What would it mean for the future of the stars? The answer was still unknown. But one thing was clear: Marcus was no ordinary visitor. He was a spark of light in a dark galaxy, and many were about to see how bright that light could shine. After the human priest, Marcus began healing the sick and bringing hope to the alien city. News of his deeds spread quickly across the galaxy. Some aliens were amazed, others were suspicious, and a few were very afraid. For many, faith and belief were strange ideas, especially when mixed with power. But no one could ignore the changes Marcus was bringing. Lyra watched these changes with growing interest. She still had many questions. How could a human like Marcus have this strange power? Was it real? Was it a trick or something more? One morning, as the twin suns rose, Marcus gathered a small group of aliens and humans in a quiet garden. The garden was filled with bright flowers that glowed softly in the early light. The air was fresh, and birds with silver feathers sang a peaceful song. Marcus stood before the group, holding the glowing stone he had shown to the council. His eyes shone with calm strength. "Friends," he said, "the power I carry is not just mine. It comes from faith, the belief in something greater than ourselves. It is the hope that lives inside every heart. When we believe together, we become stronger. We can heal wounds, unite people, and bring peace." The aliens listened carefully, some nodding, some still unsure. Lyra's eyes were fixed on Marcus. She felt something new inside her, a feeling she could not explain. A tall alien, with silver skin and sharp eyes, named Rex, spoke. "But how can belief be a power? We rely on technology and strength to survive. Belief is just words." Marcus smiled. "Belief is more than words. It is action. It is trust. When we trust in good things, we create a force that no weapon can break." To show them, Marcus asked for volunteers who were sick or hurt. Slowly, several aliens stepped forward. Marcus placed his hands on each of them and spoke soft words. As he did, a warm light spread from his hands, filling the room with a gentle glow. One by one, the aliens felt strength returning. Their wounds closed, their pain faded, and their hearts felt lighter. The group watched in awe. Lyra stepped closer. She touched her arm where a scar from an old injury still ached. When Marcus's light touched her skin, the pain vanished. She smiled in surprise. "This power," Marcus said, "comes from belief, faith in healing, love, and unity. It is a power that belongs to all who choose to believe." The story of Marcus's healing spread far beyond the city. People from distant planets began to travel just to see the human priest and feel his power. The sick found hope, the lonely found friendship, and the lost found a new path. But not everyone was happy. The alien leaders who ruled many worlds saw Marcus as a danger. They feared his growing influence could change everything. Their power depended on control and fear, not hope and faith. In a secret meeting deep underground, a group of alien rulers gathered. They wore dark robes and spoke in low voices. "Marcus is a threat," said Zork, a fierce alien with red eyes. "His power comes from faith, and faith cannot be controlled. If he unites the people, we lose our power." Another alien, a tall being, with horns named Creel, agreed. "We must stop him. If we allow this human to grow stronger, our empires will fall." They planned to capture Marcus and stop his work. Soldiers would search the cities, and spies would watch his every move. Meanwhile, Marcus continued his work peacefully. He did not want conflict, but was ready to face any challenge. He knew that hope and faith were powerful weapons stronger than any laser or army. Lyra often spent time with Marcus. She wanted to learn from him and understand more. She saw the kindness in his heart and the strength in his beliefs. One afternoon, while walking in the glowing forest outside the city, Lyra asked Marcus, "Why do you believe so strongly in hope? What makes your faith different from the many beliefs we have in the galaxy?" Marcus looked at the tall trees and smiled. "Because hope is not just about wishing for good things. It is about creating them. Faith gives us courage to face darkness and keep moving forward. It helps us see the light even when all seems lost." Lyra thought about the wars she had seen, the pain of her people. "I want to believe like that. But how can we teach others to believe? Many are afraid or angry." Marcus placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "By being examples, by showing kindness and courage, by never giving up. Belief grows when people see it in action." Lyra nodded. She felt a new strength inside her. Maybe the human priest was right. One evening, a festival was held in the city to celebrate peace and healing. Aliens and humans gathered to share stories, songs, and food from their worlds. The air was filled with laughter and music. Marcus stood on a stage and spoke to the crowd. "This festival is a sign of what we can achieve together. When we share hope and kindness, we build a future where all beings can live in peace." The crowd cheered. Even some alien leaders watched quietly from the back, but hidden in the shadows. Spies sent reports to the rulers. The leaders were growing more worried. They could not allow this festival or this hope to continue. Suddenly, the peaceful night was broken by loud alarms. Soldiers appeared, surrounding the festival. The crowd gasped in fear. Lyra stepped forward. "Please, do not harm them. Marcus brings peace," one soldier shouted. "You must stop this human priest. He is a threat to our order." Marcus raised his hands and spoke calmly. "Violence will not solve fear. Let us speak and find understanding." But the soldiers advanced. The crowd scattered, and chaos followed. Lyra stayed close to Marcus, protecting him. She saw the fear in the soldiers' eyes and knew the coming battle would be different. Marcus did not fight with weapons. Instead, he closed his eyes and began to pray. A soft light spread from him, calming the soldiers. Some soldiers dropped their weapons, tears in their eyes. Others hesitated, unsure what to do. Lyra whispered, "Your faith. It is more powerful than their weapons." Marcus opened his eyes and said, "Faith is a force that cannot be broken by fear or hate. It can change hearts and minds." The soldiers lowered their weapons. The leader of the army stepped forward and said, "We will not fight today. But know this, we watch you closely, human priest." The battle was over, but the conflict had only begun. Marcus's power was real, and the galaxy was changing. The alien leaders knew that they must act carefully, but they feared losing control. Lyra looked at Marcus with new respect and hope. The human priest was no longer just a visitor, he was a force of change, a symbol of something greater. As the stars shone brightly above, Marcus and Lyra knew that the power of belief had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The peaceful light that Marcus brought was growing brighter every day. More aliens came from distant planets to see the human priest. They wanted to hear his words, to feel his healing touch, and to share in his hope. But not everyone welcomed this change. The rulers of the galaxy's strongest planets were growing uneasy. They sat in their grand halls, filled with cold machines and screens showing news from across the stars. They spoke in low voices, filled with fear and anger. Marcus's power grows to strong, said Zorak, the fierce red-eyed alien leader. His faith moves the people more than our armies ever could. Creel, the horned alien, nodded. If we do not act, the old order will fall. We must stop this human priest before he unites the galaxy. Their plan was clear, to resist Marcus's growing influence and protect their power. They sent spies to watch him closely and soldiers to spread fear among the people who followed him. They believed that fear was stronger than hope. Meanwhile, Marcus continued his work with patience and kindness. He never spoke of war or revenge. Instead, he reminded the people that faith and hope were their true strength. He often told stories about Earth, the home of humanity, where people had faced darkness but found light by believing in each other. Lyra stayed close to Marcus. She had seen the good he could do, but now she saw the danger that waited in the shadows. One evening, under the glowing stars of the alien city, she spoke to Marcus. Marcus, she said, the leaders are afraid of you. They will not stop until they remove your power. What will you do? Marcus smiled softly. Fear is the enemy of hope, but it will not win if we stay strong together. I will not fight with weapons. Instead, I will fight with faith. Lyra looked worried. But what if they hurt you or the people who follow you? Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder. Then we will face that together. The light we carry is brighter than any darkness. Not long after, the alien resistance began to move. They sent a group of soldiers to capture Marcus during one of his gatherings in the city square. The soldiers were armed with advanced weapons and machines designed to block his powers. The crowd was large and peaceful. Many aliens and humans stood together, holding hands, singing songs of hope. Lyra stood near Marcus, ready to protect him. Suddenly, the soldiers arrived and ordered the crowd to disperse. When no one moved, they aimed their weapons. Marcus raised his hands calmly. Do not fear, he said. His voice was strong but gentle. The soldiers fired their weapons, but something strange happened. The energy beams bent and faded as they neared Marcus and the people around him. The weapons lost their power. Lyra gasped. She had never seen such a thing. How is this possible? She whispered. Marcus smiled. Faith protects us. When people believe together, they create a shield no weapon can break. The soldiers, confused and frightened, lowered their weapons and fled. The crowd cheered. Their hope renewed. The alien leaders were shocked. Their technology, their power, seemed useless against Marcus and his followers. They met again in secret, angry and desperate. We must find another way, said Zorak. This human priest's faith cannot be fought with force. Creel added, we must spread doubt and fear. If we cannot break his power, we can break his followers' belief. They sent secret messages and false stories to the people. Rumors spread that Marcus was using dark magic or controlling minds. Some began to doubt him. Lyra heard these rumors too. She was troubled. Could faith really be broken by fear and lies? One day, Marcus and Lyra visited a village that had been hurt by war. The people there were tired and afraid. They had heard the rumors and were unsure if they should trust Marcus. An old alien woman came forward and said, we have heard many things about you, priest. Some say you are a savior. Others say you bring danger. Marcus looked at the woman kindly. I bring only hope. I ask you to look not at the words of others, but at your own heart. If you feel hope, then that is the truth. He knelt and prayed softly. A gentle light spread over the village. The people felt peace and strength. The woman smiled, tears in her eyes. You have shown us kindness, she said. We will believe in you. Back in the city, Lyra faced her own struggles. Some of her friends began to doubt Marcus. They whispered that he was different and strange, that humans should not have power among aliens. Lyra stood firm. She remembered the healing, the calm, and the courage she had seen in Marcus. She knew that faith was stronger than fear. One night, she spoke to a group of young aliens who were confused. Faith is not just about believing in one thing, she said. It is about trusting in good. It is about hope. Marcus teaches us that we must not let fear control us. Her words inspired many. Slowly, more aliens began to join Marcus's followers. The alien resistance grew desperate. They decided to attack the city itself, to scare the people and break their hope. Their ships moved through the sky like dark storms. Lyra stood with Marcus on the city wall, watching the approaching fleet. "How will we stop them?" she asked. Marcus looked at her with calm eyes. "We do not stop them with weapons. We stop them with hope." As the enemy ships fired, Marcus raised his hands and began to pray. A bright light spread from him, shining over the city like a protective shield. The enemy weapons bounced off the light and fell harmlessly to the ground. The alien ships tried again and again, but the light held strong. The enemy fleet began to retreat. The people of the city cheered. Marcus had shown them that faith could protect them even in the darkest times. Lyra felt proud to stand by his side. But the battle had only just begun. The alien leaders would not give up easily. They would keep trying to break the power of belief. Lyra knew one thing for sure. She believed in Marcus. She believed in hope. And she believed that together, they could change the galaxy forever. The galaxy was restless. The alien leaders grew desperate. They had seen that no force of weapons or fear could break the light Marcus carried. His power was not just healing or hope. It was something deeper, something no one fully understood. Lyra watched Marcus carefully. She had seen his miracles and heard his words, but now she wanted to understand the true source of his power. One quiet evening, as the stars twinkled high above the city, she asked him directly. "Marcus," she said softly, "what is the true source of your power? How can your faith create such strong light?" Marcus looked at her with gentle eyes. "The power I have comes from a gift inside every human, a gift of connection. Humans can feel the spirit that links all living beings together. It is the strength of hope, love, and belief combined. When many believe together, this connection grows stronger and creates a force beyond any weapon or technology." Lyra listened closely. This was different from anything she had heard before. "So, this power is not just yours?" "No," Marcus replied. "It belongs to everyone who believes, who hopes, and who loves. It is the force that moves us forward." The next day, Marcus gathered his followers in the city's great hall. It was a place of history and wisdom, with walls covered in glowing symbols of many alien worlds. He spoke clearly and with passion. "This power, the force of belief and hope, is the greatest power in the universe. It is the reason we can heal, protect, and unite. It is the reason we can change the future." Many aliens and humans listened, eyes wide with wonder. Some still doubted, but many felt the truth in his words. Among the crowd, Lyra saw faces light with hope. Children smiled, elders nodded, and warriors lowered their weapons. But the alien leaders would not accept this change. They planned a final, tested challenge to Marcus and his followers. They called Marcus to their council chamber, a vast room filled with the galaxy's most powerful beings. The chamber was cold and dark, with a large circular table at the center. "Human priest," said Varkos, the leader, "you speak of power and hope. But can your power stand against the true dangers of the galaxy?" Marcus stood tall. "My power is not for battle, it is for peace. But it is strong enough to face any danger when we stand together." Varkos smiled coldly. "Then face this challenge. A deadly force approaches our galaxy, a monster that destroys everything in its path. If you can stop it, we will accept your power. If not, you will leave and never return." News of the approaching monster spread quickly. It was called the Devourer, a huge creature that traveled through space, destroying planets and stars. The alien leaders had never faced such a threat before. Fear filled the hearts of many. They looked to Marcus for help, but even he seemed unsure. The Devourer was unlike any enemy they had met. Lyra stood beside Marcus as the creature came closer. The stars darkened as the Devourer entered the galaxy's edge. "We must prepare," Marcus said. "But we will not fight with weapons. We will fight with hope." The Devourer attacked the first planet with terrible force. Buildings crumbled, and skies turned black. The people fled or hid in fear. Marcus and his followers gathered quickly. He stood in the center of the city square, holding the glowing stone. His voice was calm but strong. "Believe in the light within you," he said. "Believe in the power of hope. Together, we can stop this darkness." As the Devourer moved closer, Marcus raised his hands and prayed. A bright light spread from him, touching the hearts of all who believed. The light grew stronger, forming a shield over the city. The Devourer's attacks bounced off the shield, powerless. But the creature was not defeated yet. It roared and attacked. Again, more fiercely. Lyra looked around and saw many aliens beginning to lose hope. The light was strong, but the fear was growing too. Marcus walked among the people, touching their shoulders, whispering words of comfort. His faith was like a flame, burning bright in the darkness. "Do not give up," he said. "The power is in you." Slowly, the people began to believe again. Their hope returned, and the light grew brighter. The battle lasted days. The Devourer tried to break through, but the united hope of the people, led by Marcus, was stronger. Finally, the Devourer let out a terrible roar and retreated into the dark space from which it came. The people cheered and celebrated. Marcus's power had saved them, but more than that, he had shown them the strength of belief and unity. After the battle, the alien leaders called Marcus once more. They bowed before him, admitting their defeat. "You have proven your power," Varkos said. "We see now that hope and belief are forces that cannot be ignored. The galaxy must change." Marcus smiled. "The change has already begun. When we believe together, we can face any darkness." Lyra stood nearby, proud to have been part of this moment. She now understood the true meaning of Marcus's faith, the power to connect all beings and create light in the darkest times. The galaxy entered a new era, guided by hope and unity. Marcus was no longer just a human priest. He was a symbol of the light inside everyone. And Lyra, the alien girl who once doubted, now believed with all her heart. The galaxy was changing. The shadow of fear and control that once covered many worlds was lifting. Thanks to Marcus, the human priest, and his message of hope and unity, a new light was rising. The alien girl, Lyra, stood at the heart of this change, proud and hopeful for the future. The great halls of the Galactic Council had opened for a new kind of meeting, one where humans and aliens sat side by side as equals. The leaders who once opposed Marcus now listened with respect, understanding that the strength of a galaxy came not from power or fear, but from belief. In cooperation, Lyra looked across the room at Marcus. He wore his simple robe, but his eyes shone with the wisdom and kindness of one who had seen the darkest night and found the stars beyond it. "We have faced great challenges," Marcus said softly to the council, "but it is only the beginning. Our future depends on what we build together: trust, hope, and peace across the galaxy." New alliances formed. Worlds once divided by wars and hatred began to share knowledge and culture. The human way of faith and belief inspired many. It was not just religion, but a deeper understanding that every being's spirit mattered. Lyra found herself traveling to many planets with Marcus. Together, they visited places where old wounds still hurt, but where new hope could grow. On one small world, Lyra met an alien boy who had lost his family to war. His eyes were filled with sadness. "Will the pain ever end?" he asked quietly. Lyra knelt beside him. "Pain is part of life, but so is healing. Marcus teaches us that hope can heal even the deepest wounds." The boy looked up and smiled faintly. Marcus worked tirelessly, but never alone. His followers, humans and aliens alike, helped build schools, heal the sick, and teach peace. Lyra was proud to be among them. She learned from Marcus every day how to listen, how to care, and how to believe in something greater than herself. One day, as they stood on a hill overlooking a city filled with laughter and light, Marcus turned to her. Lyra, he said, you have seen the power of hope. Now, you must help others see it too. Will you be a light for your people? Lyra nodded, feeling the weight and joy of the responsibility. I will. But not all was easy. Some alien factions still resisted the new ways. They clung to old fears and old powers. They spread doubt and tried to break the peace. One day, a messenger came with troubling news. A group of rebels had attacked a peaceful colony, destroying homes and spreading chaos. Lyra and Marcus hurried to the colony. The damage was heavy, but the spirit of the people was not broken. We will rebuild, Marcus said firmly, and we will show them that hope is stronger than hate. Together with the people, they worked to repair the colony. Lyra spoke to the children and elders, sharing stories of courage and faith. Slowly, the colony healed, becoming a symbol of strength and renewal. News of the colony's recovery spread, inspiring other worlds. The galaxy was learning that even in the face of darkness, hope could shine brighter. The alien leaders who once feared Marcus now sought his advice. They saw that true leadership came from serving others, not ruling them. At a special ceremony on the capital planet, the council honored Marcus and his followers for their courage and wisdom. Lyra stood beside Marcus as he spoke to the crowd. Faith is not just a word, he said. It is the power inside us all to change the world. Together, we can create a galaxy where every life is valued and every voice is heard. As the ceremony ended, Lyra looked up at the stars. She remembered the first time she saw Marcus arrive calm, peaceful, and full of hope. Now, she knew that the human priest was more than a visitor. He was a beginning, a symbol of what all beings could become when they chose faith over fear. The galaxy was no longer divided. It was united in a new dawn of hope, courage, and light. And in the heart of that new dawn stood Marcus, the human priest, the alien girl's greatest surprise and the galaxy's greatest hope.